Today, I want to talk about a topic that I think is really important when it comes to understanding women and relationships. The idea that women often feel the strongest sense of connection through feelings of uncertainty. Now, I know this might sound a little counterintuitive at first. You might be thinking, wait, why would women want to feel uncertain in a relationship? Wouldn't they want more stability and clarity? And that's a totally fair question. But the reality is, a lot of research has shown that many women are actually wired to crave a certain level of uncertainty and unpredictability in their romantic connections. There's just something about that sense of mystery and not knowing exactly where things are going that can be really alluring and exciting for a lot of women. Now, don't get me wrong, women absolutely value stability and security in relationships too. We all do. But there's this delicate balance that a lot of women seem to respond to, where there's just enough uncertainty to keep things thrilling and captivating, but not so much that it feels chaotic or unstable. I think a big part of it comes down to the fact that women are often very in tune with their emotions and intuition. And when there's a little bit of uncertainty or unpredictability in a relationship, it can actually heighten those emotional responses and make the connection feel more intense and meaningful. It's almost like the brain is constantly trying to fill in the gaps and figure out what's going on, which triggers these really powerful feelings of anticipation, curiosity, and yes, even a little bit of anxiety. But in the right context, that anxiety can actually be really exciting and pleasurable. Think about it this way. Have you ever been on a first date where there was just this incredible chemistry and tension in the air, and you weren't quite sure where things were going to go? Or maybe you've been with a partner for a while, but there's still an element of mystery and surprise that keeps you on your toes. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. And the thing is, it's not just about the initial stages of a relationship either. Even in long-term, committed partnerships, a little bit of uncertainty can actually help to maintain that sense of passion and connection. It's about creating an environment where both people feel like there's still room to explore, discover, and be delighted by each other. Of course, this is a generalization, and not every woman is going to respond the same way. We're all unique individuals with our own preferences and needs, but I do think there's something to be said for the idea that a little bit of uncertainty can be a powerful aphrodisiac for a lot of women. The key is finding that sweet spot, enough uncertainty to keep things interesting and exciting, but not so much that it feels unstable or unsafe. And that's where things like communication, trust, and mutual respect become so important. It's about creating an environment where both partners feel seen, heard, and valued, even in the midst of that sense of mystery and unpredictability. Number 2, women feel love for a man who is attracted to her, but doesn't desire a long-term relationship. Conventional wisdom would tell us that women want commitment, stability, and a clear path to a happily ever after ending, and in some cases that's absolutely true. But there's also a certain allure and magnetism that can come from a guy who is captivated by a woman, but maintains a healthy sense of distance and independence. Think about it. Guys, have you ever noticed how women seem to be drawn to the guy who's a little bit emotionally unavailable? The one who's charming and confident, maybe even makes them feel irresistible, but also has this underlying air of, I'm not quite ready to jump into a serious relationship. And you are always on the side asking the guy what is wrong with him because all these girls are almost begging him for a relationship. Well, there's a reason for that. It taps into some deep, primal parts of the female psyche. When a woman feels desired and pursued, but without the pressure or expectations of full-blown commitment, it can be incredibly alluring and intoxicating. It's like she gets to bask in all the thrill and excitement of new love without having to worry about the potential downsides. Now, I know what you might be thinking. But Charisma, don't women ultimately want commitment and stability in a relationship? And the answer is, well, it's complicated. Because the truth is, they do crave that sense of security and belonging. But there's also a part of them that's drawn to a certain kind of emotional distance and independence in a partner. It's like they want to be adored and desired, but not necessarily possessed or controlled. They want to feel like they're the center of your universe, but only when it suits them. And there's a certain power and allure in that dynamic that can be incredibly seductive. So fellas, if you're looking to really capture a woman's heart and make her fall deeper in love, try maintaining a little bit of that elusive, emotionally unavailable vibe. It might just be the key to unlocking a whole new level of passion and connection. Just don't take it too far, all right? You still want her to feel valued and respected. Number 3, connection means nothing to a woman. She only cares about test passing. All right, my dudes, gather round. Charisma's got another relationship revelation that's going to blow your minds wide open. All that connection and soulful gazing you've been told is the key to a woman's heart? Yeah, that's a load of crap. See, the cold, hard truth is a woman couldn't care less about your ability to gaze longingly into her eyes or spout poetry about the way she makes you feel. Nope, the only thing that really matters to the fairer sex is whether or not you can jump through their hoops and pass their meticulously crafted challenges. It's like they've got a secret list of relationship qualification exams that we poor, unsuspecting men have to ace if we want a shot at their affection. And let me tell you, these tests come in all shapes and sizes, my friends. It could be something as simple as remembering the name of her favorite flower, or as complex as navigating a minefield of social etiquette at a fancy dinner party. Heck, she might even throw you a curveball just to see how you handle the pressure. But the thing is, if you can't prove your worth by passing these tests with flying colors, all the connection in the world ain't gonna do you a lick of good. It's like that old saying, the way to a woman's heart is through her tests, or something like that. Now, I know what you're thinking, but Charisma, this all sounds so calculated and unromantic. Shouldn't a woman just be able to see the beauty in my soul through the windows of my eyes? And hey, I get it, my friend. That whole eyes are the windows to the soul thing has a certain poetic charm to it. But the reality is, for a lot of women, that kind of emotional intuition just ain't enough. They need tangible proof that you're worthy of their trust and affection. And the only way to provide that proof is by acing their carefully crafted tests, one by one. Think about it this way, it's like that old saying, the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. Well, for women, it's more like the way to her heart is through her tests. And if you can't prove your culinary skills, Mr. Chef, forget about getting anywhere near that sacred organ. Now, I know what you're probably thinking, but Charisma, this all sounds so exhausting. Do I really have to jump through hoops just to get a woman to like me? And you know, it's a fair point. But the reality is, if you want to build a deep, lasting connection with a woman, you got to be willing to put in the work. And hey, look, I'm not saying it's going to be easy. These tests can be downright tricky, and the stakes are high. But trust me, my friends, if you can master the art of test passing, the rewards are going to be oh so sweet. I'm talking about unlocking a whole new level of intimacy, trust, and affection that you never even knew existed. And who better to help you navigate this minefield of challenges than your old pal Charisma, right? I mean, I've got the inside scoop on all the latest and greatest tests women are throwing out there. From social media etiquette to gift-giving prowess, I've seen it all. So stick around, hit that subscribe button, and let's dive into some seriously eye-opening strategies for acing those tests and winning over the ladies. Number 4. Women desire a man who is distant, emotionally cold, and not trying to build anything. All right, fellas, let's talk about what the fairer sex really craves in a man. And let me tell you, it's not what you might expect. Nope, the ladies don't want some sappy, lovey-dovey guy who's constantly trying to build a deep, emotional connection. No, what they crave is a man who's as distant and emotionally cold as a glacier in the Arctic. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how women seem to be irresistibly drawn to the guy who's a little bit aloof, a little bit mysterious? The one who's charming and confident, sure, but also maintains an air of emotional distance that just keeps them guessing. Well, there's a reason for that, my friends. It's all about that delicate balance between desire and distance, between passion and indifference. You see, women love the thrill of the chase, the excitement of trying to unlock the secrets of a man who doesn't readily open up. And when you pair that with a healthy dose of physical attraction, well, let's just say the sparks start to fly. Now, I'm not saying you have to be a stone-cold robot devoid of all human emotion. That's not what I'm going for here. But there's definitely something to be said for maintaining a certain level of emotional aloofness, a refusal to get too wrapped up in the feelings and expectations of a relationship. Because the reality is, women are often wired to crave that sense of mystery and uncertainty. They want to feel like they're constantly on the verge of uncovering a new layer of your personality, like they're always chasing that elusive aha moment when they finally crack the code. And let me tell you, fellas, when you can strike that perfect balance, when you're simultaneously captivating and emotionally distant, alluring and aloof, that's when the magic really happens. That's when women start to see you as a challenge to be conquered, a puzzle to be solved. And trust me, there's nothing more intoxicating to the fairer sex than the thrill of the chase. Of course, I'm not saying you should completely shut down and become a heartless robot. That's not going to do you any favors in the long run, but there's definitely something to be said for maintaining a healthy sense of independence, a refusal to get too wrapped up in the expectations and demands of a relationship. Because the truth is, women don't really want a guy who's constantly trying to build something deep and meaningful. They want a partner who's secure enough in themselves to not need that constant validation and emotional intimacy. They want a man who's confident enough to keep them guessing, to keep them on their toes. And let me tell you, my friends, when you can pull that off, when you can be the perfect blend of captivating and aloof, alluring and indifferent, the rewards can be truly mind-blowing. I'm talking about the kind of intense, all-consuming passion that leaves both of you breathless and begging for more. So, there you have it, fellas, the secret to unlocking a woman's heart. It's all about finding that sweet spot between desire and distance, between passion and indifference. And if you can master that delicate balance, well, let's just say the world of romance is going to be your frozen tundra to explore. Number 5, women will complain about your behavior, but still reward you with actions and intimacy. All right, fellas, listen up. Charisma's got the scoop on a little phenomenon that's going to blow your minds. It's all about how the fairer sex will complain about your behavior, but then turn around and shower you with all kinds of delightful rewards. And I'm not just talking about verbal affirmations. My friends, I'm talking about the good stuff. The intimate, physical kind of rewards that'll leave you wondering, what just happened? Now, I know what you're thinking, but Charisma, how is that even possible? If a woman's complaining about my behavior, shouldn't that mean I'm in the doghouse? Well, my friend, that's where you'd be mistaken. Because when it comes to the wonderful world of women, the rules of logic and reason often go out the window. You see, the thing is, women are wired a little differently than us fellas. They've got this incredible knack for compartmentalizing their emotions and reactions. 1 minute, they're complaining about how you forgot to call or how you left your dirty socks on the floor, and the next, they're all over you like a kid in a candy store. And let me tell you, the rewards they bestow during those moments, ooh, they're sweeter than a honey-dipped donut, let me tell you. We're talking passionate kisses, lingering caresses, and maybe even a little something extra if you play your cards right. It's like they're saying, sure, I'm annoyed with you, but that doesn't mean I don't still find you irresistible. Now, I know what you're thinking, but Charisma, isn't that kind of, I don't know, manipulative? And yeah, I hear you, my friend. It can definitely come across that way. But the truth is, a lot of women don't even realize they're doing it. It's like this innate, subconscious response that they can't always control. You see, for a lot of women, expressing their displeasure is just a way of maintaining a sense of power and control in the relationship. It's their way of letting you know that they've got standards and expectations that need to be met. But at the same time, that physical and emotional attraction is still there, bubbling away under the surface. And when that attraction finally boils over, well, that's when the real fireworks start. It's like they're saying, okay, fine, I'm annoyed with you, but that doesn't change the fact that I still want you. So here, have a little taste of what you've been missing. Now, I'm not saying you should go out of your way to piss off the ladies, my friends. That's not the point here. But the key is to understand that a little bit of healthy push and pull can actually be a good thing in a relationship. It keeps the dynamic interesting, the tension high, and the rewards oh so sweet. And let me tell you, when you're the guy who can navigate those emotional waters with confidence and charm, the world of romance is going to be your playground. You'll be the one calling the shots, setting the pace, and oh yeah, reaping the benefits of your savvy behavior. So, fellas, the next time your lady starts griping about your less than stellar habits, don't sweat it. Just sit back, flash her your most devilish grin, and let her know that you've got a few tricks up your sleeve. Because trust me, those complaints are just her way of keeping the spark alive. And when you respond with the right mix of playfulness and poise, well, let's just say the rewards will be all yours for the taking. It's time to start embracing your inner charmer, your inner smooth talker. Number 6. Men need to understand when their prime in life is and focus on developing masculinity. All right, gentlemen, it's time to have a real talk about something that's absolutely crucial to your success and happiness in life, understanding your prime years and focusing on developing your masculinity. Now, I know this might not be the most pleasant conversation, but trust me, it's one you need to have if you want to make the most of the time you've got. You see, the reality is we men have a certain window of time where our physical and mental prime is at its peak. It's that sweet spot where our testosterone is flowing, our energy levels are through the roof, and we've got that undeniable aura of confidence and virility that women just can't resist. And let me tell you, fellas, if you don't capitalize on that prime time, you're doing yourself a major disservice. It's like having a winning lottery ticket and just letting it sit in your pocket, gathering dust. My friends, when it comes to your masculine peak, you've got to seize the day and make the most of every glorious moment. Now, I know what you might be thinking, But Charisma, what exactly do you mean by developing my masculinity? Isn't that just a bunch of outdated, toxic nonsense? And look, I get it. The whole concept of masculinity has been a bit of a minefield in recent years. But the truth is, when it's harnessed in the right way, it can be an absolute superpower. Think about it this way: when you're at the height of your masculinity, you're not just a magnetic, irresistible force of nature. You're also a paragon of strength, confidence, and unwavering determination. You're the kind of guy who walks into a room and commands attention, who takes charge and leaves everyone in awe of your sheer presence. And let me tell you, my friends, that kind of masculine energy is like catnip to the ladies. It's the kind of thing that has them practically tripping over themselves to get a piece of the action. But the catch is, you've got to know when to capitalize on it, and you've got to be intentional about nurturing and developing that side of yourself. Because the reality is, our masculine prime doesn't last forever. Just like a fine wine or a vintage sports car, we men have a certain window of time where we're operating at peak performance. And if you don't take advantage of it, well, you might just end up feeling like a rusted-out old car, struggling to keep up with the younger, sleeker models. But hey, that's where the whole developing your masculinity thing comes in, my friends. It's about honing your skills, sharpening your edge, and making sure you're always operating at the top of your game. It's about hitting the gym, mastering new hobbies and skills, and cultivating that undeniable aura of confidence and charisma. And let me tell you, when you've got that masculine mojo firing on all cylinders, the world is your oyster. You'll be the one calling the shots, setting the pace, and leaving a trail of awestruck women in your wake. It's like having a superpower that sets you apart from the crowd, a secret weapon that gives you an edge in every aspect of your life. So, fellas, the question is, are you ready to unlock your true masculine potential? Are you ready to seize the day and make the most of your prime years? Because trust me, the rewards are going to be off the charts. Number 7, progressing on yourself and putting yourself first naturally helps you pass tests and attract women. Think about it: when you're the guy who's constantly challenging himself, who's always striving to be the best version of himself, you're automatically demonstrating all the qualities that women find irresistible. You're showing that you're disciplined, driven, and in control of your own destiny. And trust me, fellas, that's the kind of man that's going to have the ladies lining up to see if they can crack your code. And the best part, when you're operating at the peak of your masculine prime, you're not just going to be passing those tests with flying colors, you're going to be doing it with a swagger and panache that leaves them weak in the knees. It's like you've got this magnetic, almost hypnotic pull that just draws them in, no matter how hard they try to resist. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but Charisma, doesn't that mean I'm just using self-improvement as a means to an end? Shouldn't I be bettering myself for my own sake, not just to impress the ladies? And you know what, my friend? That's a totally fair point. The truth is, you should absolutely be focusing on your own personal growth and development because it's the right thing to do, not just because it'll help you score points with a fairer sex. But the beauty of it is, when you're genuinely committed to becoming the best version of yourself, that irresistible masculine energy is going to start oozing out of every pore. And guess what? The women are going to be gravitating towards it like moths to a flame. It's like having your cake and eating it too, my friends. You get to indulge your own passions, pursue your own dreams, and hone your own skills, and in the process, you end up becoming a veritable magnet for the ladies. I mean, talk about a win-win, am I right? But let me be clear, this isn't about manipulation or using self-improvement as some kind of cheap ploy. No, my friends. This is about tapping into your true masculine potential, about becoming the kind of man who's so secure in himself, so confident in his own abilities, that he just naturally exudes that irresistible aura. And when you're operating from that place, trust me, those tests that the women love to throw your way, they'll be a cakewalk. You'll be navigating them with the grace and ease of a seasoned pro, leaving her utterly captivated and eager to see what other surprises you've got up your sleeve. So, fellas, what are you waiting for? It's time to start pouring your energy into becoming the best version of yourself, both for your own sake and for the endless rewards it'll bring you in the romance department. Just remember to hit that subscribe button, and let's dive deeper into this whole masculine mastery thing. The world of dating and relationships is about to get a whole lot more exciting.